of you look really tired, you know. I'm going to speak English, so please don't mind me, okay? I feel so strongly that I think we should just take a moment to worship God, you know, because He's so good. And that alone is, you know, His worthy of our praise. So let's just sing this song with me. Yes, He is good. Yes, He is good. Oh yes, He is good. He is good forevermore, forevermore. Sing again, say yes, He is good. Thank you, Lord. Yes, He is good. Oh yes, He is good. He is good forever. Sing it louder. Yes, He is good. Even everything else fails, Lord. Still, yes, He is good. Oh, you're so good, oh God. Yes, He is good. Yeah, He is good forever. Sing it louder, say yes. Come on. He is good. Oh, yes, He is good. You're so good, oh God. Yes, He is good. Thank you, Lord. He is good forever. Just you and Him say yes, you are good, okay? Say yes. You are good. Yes, you are good. Thank you, Lord. Yes, you are good. You are good forever. Can you just give him a round of applause? Okay, that's good. Right, so why don't you just turn around to the people around you and say this? You are the head and not the tail. You will lend and not borrow. Ready? You are the head and not the tail. You will lend and not borrow. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! I like that English. Practice English. One more time. 1, 2, 3. You will lend and not borrow. Bahkan meminjamkan bukan pinjam. Sekali lagi yang keras ya, kita barengan ya. 1, 2, 3. You are the head and not the tail. You will lend and not borrow. Amen. Okay. You know, tonight's theme is about being a winner in every season. And I think it's going to be a powerful message because, you know, most of you know that I love cycling. You know, yes, I'm going to talk about cycling again. So bear with me for the first 1 hour. I'm going to talk just about cycling. Okay? People say that cycling is one of, if not the most difficult sport on earth. You know, because if you realize in cycling, if you go on Tour de France, for example, you know, they have to ride for like 3 weeks, right? And every week, every day, they're riding for like 160 to 250 kilometers a day. And they're not riding like me and my wife are riding on bicycles, you know, like me and my wife are just like riding, you know, slowly, but they are like racing, serious racing, and these guys are doing, you know, 50, 60 k's an hour on the descent. They can go up to 100 k's an hour, so this is like serious racing. 3 weeks. 3 weeks they have to be at the best level. They have to be at the top. They cannot afford a bad day. They cannot afford a crash. Because one crash or one sickness, you know, you see it sometimes in news. Some of the cyclists actually, you know, have illness or flu or something, and it can just destroy their Tour de France title. You know, this is not on other sports like soccer or tennis, or, you know, like tennis in Grand Slam you play for 2 weeks, but then when it hits the quarterfinal, you no longer play every day, right? You play on alternate days. But cycling is really hard. So So why am I talking about cycling? You know, cycling is an endurance event, meaning that you cannot go too hard in the beginning, because if you go too hard in the beginning, at the very end, you will suffer on the very final week and you will lose your title. So cycling, you have to go at the right pace, at the right speed, you know, at the right strength. You have to eat correctly. You just have to be at the top form all the time. It is really difficult sport. I mean, you know, I'm cycling every day to work. It's only like 40 k's a day, and I'm struggling already. And these people are doing like 160 to 140 k's a day. So why am I talking about cycling? Some of you are like, oh, okay, you know, I just came home from work. It's a long day. It's a long Friday, and here I am sitting here listening to this guy, and I don't even know who he is, and he's talking about all this cycling stuff. And why am I talking about cycling? Because life is an endurance event. St. Paul said it in the Bible, I have run my race with endurance. You know, life is an endurance event. This is why I think being a winner in every season is really important. It's really a powerful message. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself, because I have to make sure that every single day of my life, I want to be at that top form. You see, in life, you cannot go good just at the beginning. You see it all the time. You know, you go on a retreat, everyone's like, how great is our God, sing with me, how great. You know, the worship leader finds it really easy. Seriously, you're going to be a worship leader, be a worship leader at the retreat, because it's really easy. Because everyone is like, oh, you know, let's jump. Everyone is jumping, right? How great is our God. Oh, 2 weeks after the retreat, what happens? How great is our God. I think the song's a bit too high. Sing with me. You know, 2 months after the retreat, you see it all the time. How great is our God. And start looking at the watch and what am I doing here in this prayer meeting? You know, like, you see it all the time. When I first bought my new car, I wash it every day. Not every day, every week, once a week. It's like, I'm going to wash my car every week, right? And I did it for the first month. Second month, once in 2 months, right? 6 months, once every month. You know, now, unless my wife is saying, this is like really disgusting car, you have to wash it. That's when I wash my car. Like, you see it all the time. You know, life is an endurance event, my brothers and sisters. You know, this is why we should not, this is what I wrote in my Facebook yesterday, you should never write everybody off. You know, I used to be this guy that just looked down on people sometimes. You know, I'm the sort of a guy that, I've got plans. I've got 5-year plans. I've got 10-year plans. You know, if you asked me back then, Tommy, what are you going to do in the next 5 years? I will plan it all out. You know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm that sort of guy. And I used to have this friend at my cell group. He's the sort of guy that just didn't have any plans. You know, every time I ask him, we ask him, like the cell group members, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know, I'm not sure. And he's just like, you know. When we were in the cell group, he was already in a long-term relationship, you know, like 4 or 5 year relationship, and he's in a long-distance relationship. I think his girlfriend was in Indonesia back then. So we were like, you know, what are you going to do with your girlfriend? Are you going to marry her? What are you going to do? And he's just like, I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to tag along. Tag along? What do you mean tag along? You have to feel for her, right? And I used to be this vocal, like, you have to have plans, and I used to look down on people, you know, that just what do you call it? Like floating on earth, you know. Like there are some people who just like, for me, it's like floating on earth. But do you know where he is right now? He is married with a daughter, you know, and his wife is a doctor, and he's got a good job. He's a manager in Indonesia. And suddenly, the guy who used to be behind me, I thought was behind me, now suddenly it is in front of me. And I'm like, wow. That's what God can do in your life. So this is why some of you are feeling like nervous. Some of you feel that, oh, I'm not as good as my friends, and I'm not as handsome, I'm not as talented as my friends. You know, my friends has got this great job, and here I am. I'm still single. I haven't got any boyfriend or whatever. Don't get discouraged. Life is an endurance event. This is not about you being good in the beginning, but you are being good all the time. Amen. 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 So I'm just going to share, you know, a few things, you know, 56 things tonight, you know, about practical things that we can do in our life, so that you know, whenever the season changes, whenever you feel down, that we can always look back to this message and just, you know, let this encourage you. So we're going to talk about 3 things, just 3 things tonight. I'm kidding, about 56 things. 3 things, every single point has got like 56 points, okay? Alright. This is the first thing. Being a winner in every season, alright? This is my first point. My first point is this. Every one of us, regardless whether you are tall, you are short, you're big, you're skinny, doesn't matter. Every one of us has a seed of a winner. Has a seed of a winner. Seed itu benih kan? Kita punya benih pemenang. We have a seed of a winner. Let's open this. This is a really good. This is my favorite verse. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse number 5. Can we show it on the screen? That's written in Indonesia. Indonesia. Yeremia ayat 1, verse 1, bab 1 ayat 5. Ya. No?
Di situ.
Oh, di sini, orangnya sini. Oh. Yo, Mister. Oke. Here we go. Sebelum aku membentuk engkau, bahasa Inggrisnya ini kalau di Alkitab bahasa Inggris dia bilang before I formed you, before you were formed in your mother's womb. You know, people say, I've written on my Facebook, you know, people used to say, I knew you when you were 5 years old, I knew you when you were 10 years old. God says, I knew you before you were even formed. See, this is a great encouragement, because sometimes I'm like, God, why am I living in 2014? Don't you know 2014, we've got this great economic crisis, job is really hard to find, you know, why am I living in 2014? Have you ever asked that question to God? Has any of you ever asked, like, why am I living in this, you know, why am I living in this 2014? House price is like $500,000 on average, like, here I am, my salary, you know, I don't know where you work, but, you know, have you ever asked that question to God?
Yes.
You know, sometimes I've ever asked that question to God, why am I living in this sort of era? Don't you know, God? And God is like this. Tommy, do you think I'm up there like scratching my head? That's true, my son. I think I made a mistake. Why haven't I thought about you? Why haven't I thought about 2014 that there will be a great economic crisis? Oh, I think I make a mistake. You are right. Well, let me write this down. I'm not going to make the same. Do you think God is making a mistake? No. He knew us before, since the beginning of time. Before billions over billions over billions of years ago. Before everything was created, He has already got a plan. There will be a girl named Lydia, a guy named Tammy, Chica, and all of you here today, that you will be living in 2014, and each one of you has been chosen by God. He's got a great plan in your life, that you're going to be the light of the world we live in today. Amen? Amen. So, I knew you before you were formed. Ya. Aku telah mengenal engkau. Dan sebelum engkau keluar dari kandungan, aku telah menguduskan engkau. I have sanctified you. Aku telah menetapkan engkau menjadi nabi bagi bangsa-bangsa. Bahasa Inggrisnya bilang, I knew you before I formed you, before you were formed in your mother's womb, and I have anointed you to be the prophet of nations. So each one of us has already got that great seed of a winner. So don't you dare, from tonight, you know, when you look at yourself in front of the mirror, don't you dare saying, I'm not good enough, you know, I think my friend is better than me, I think Nano plays better keyboard than me, and, you know, don't you dare saying that, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are handpicked by God. You are the apples of His eyes. Amen? So when you look at yourself in front of the mirror tonight, you know, you can be a bit of a narcissist, that's okay, you know, I'm good. That's okay, you know, just say, you know, don't let negativity, don't let the lies of the enemy tells you that, oh, you don't have what it takes to do the job, you know, or you're not good enough, or you're not clever enough. No. You know, if you look at these great people, you know, Bill Gates used to be a guy who didn't even finish uni, like Steve Jobs, all these great people, like this is just like secular people. And then when you look at Jesus and all these great people in the Bible, they didn't have a great start either. You know, they started with like, you know, Jesus was born in the manger and he's not like, he's not living in a castle or anything. But God can turn things around. Just one touch of God's favor can turn your life around. So when you look in front of your mirror tonight, you know, say things like, I'm the child of the Most High God. I'm the child not just of a king, but the King of Kings. Royal blood is running through my vein. I've got blue blood. If you scratch my hand, it will be blue. Do you know what I mean? Say all these good things. So why don't you just turn around? If you see a girl, tell them you look beautiful. If you see a guy, tell them you look handsome. 1, 2, 3.
You look handsome, bro. Handsome. Handsome, man. Handsome. Hey, handsome. Handsome, bro.
All right. So the first one is, every one of us has been given a seed of a winner. So each one of us has that seed of a winner. But that seed, this is my second point, that seed needs training. That seed needs to be trained. Let's open Hebrews, Ibrani. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6 to 11. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6 to 11. Okay? If you got it, say Amen.
Amin.
Okay. Screennya, oke? Ibrani 6 ayat 11. Ya betul ya? Ibrani 12. Whose brother is this? Oke. Ibrani 12 ayat 6 sampai 11. Hebrew 12 verse 6. Verse 6. Here we go. Karena Tuhan menghajar orang yang dikasihinya, dan ia menyesah orang yang diakuinya sebagai anak. Ini kalau bahasa Indonesia kayaknya jelas banget ya, tapi kalau di bahasa Inggris di translate sinonimnya itu mendisiplinkan. Oke? Jadi Allah mendisiplinkan tadi itu. Terus ini kita lanjutkan. Ya, lanjut. Jika kamu harus menanggung ganjaran, Allah memperlakukan kamu seperti anak. Di manakah terdapat anak yang tidak dihajar oleh ayahnya? Diajarkan misalnya jangan, tapi ini artinya mendisiplinkan, melatih, oke? Training. Tetapi jikalau kamu bebas dari latihan, dari ganjaran yang harus diderita setiap orang, maka kamu bukanlah anak, tetapi anak-anak gampang. Lanjut. Selanjutnya dari ayah kita yang sebenarnya kita beroleh ganjaran dan mereka kita hormati. Kalau demikian, bukankah kita harus lebih taat kepada Bapa segala roh supaya kita boleh hidup? Sebab mereka mendidik kita dalam waktu yang pendek sesuai dengan apa yang mereka anggap baik. Tetapi Dia, Tuhan kita, menghajar kita untuk kebaikan kita, supaya kita beroleh bagian dalam kekudusannya. Ayat yang terakhir, memang tiap-tiap ganjaran pada waktu Ia berikan tidak mendatangkan sukacita. Memang gak enak, training is never good, oke? Tetapi duka cita. Tetapi kemudian Ia menghasilkan buah kebenaran yang memberikan damai kepada yang dilatih, mereka yang dilatih olehnya. See, training is really important, my brothers and sisters. Some of you are currently going through some training ground, God's training ground. Some of you are feeling life is so hard, life is so difficult. You know, I don't know how I can go through this. Don't get discouraged. You don't realize it, that you are in God's training ground, because only in the training will you be stronger. Only in the training will you learn, you know, specific skills. Like if I'm in tennis, I can't just keep playing matches. Who are playing tennis in this place? Anybody play tennis? No? Oh, so this one is not relevant. Anyone play basketball? Basketball? Okay. Anyone play soccer? What are the girls are doing? Walking? Walking, running? Poly? Shopping?
That's an endurance game.
Endurance. That's true. I cannot go with my wife. She can just walk for 8 hours, you know. For the first hour, I'll be like looking for seats. Anyway. So, you know, when you play tennis, when I used to play tennis, it is so tempting to I just want to play match. You know, I just want to play match. But then I have to take some time off to train. I need to train specific for my forehand. I need to train specifically for my backhand. You know, we need to train. Training is never good. Training is always hard. It is always hard. Some of you are parents here, and some of you are just like young parents, and you're like struggling, Lord, I don't have enough, and that's okay. You are in God's training ground. When we come out, we will come out better off than before. Amen? So there are 3 characteristics of training. The first one, remember this. When you are training, the first one, it will stretch you to your limit. It will stretch you to your limit. You know, if you want to be stronger, everyone prays like, oh Lord, I want to be stronger, you let your strength comes around. But you have to realize, if you want to be stronger, then God has to stretch you to your limit. You know, if I'm doing planking, some of you know, you know planking, right? I start with like 30 seconds, and I struggle like 30 seconds, oh, you know, my back pain, but now I can do it for 5 minutes. How do I do that? From 30 seconds, I have to increase. For the next day, I have to do it 40 seconds. On the next day, 50 seconds. And I have to keep increasing it. until I get to 5 minutes. Why I'm not increasing more than 5 minutes? Because it takes so much time, I just can't go. So, 5 minutes. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be stronger in like, if you play basketball, if you play volleyball, if you want to be stronger in your physical ability, then you have to stretch your limit. And that's what God is doing to some of you. Like, some of you feel like, oh, life is so hard, but God is stretching you to your limit so that when you get out stronger, you get out better off than before. So that's the first characteristic of training is God will stretch you to your limit. Number 2, God will reveal your mistakes. When you are training, Michelle is a great singer, and she does like this singing lesson, and I'm sure her teacher will be like, oh, you don't do it correctly, your diaphragm is, or your breathing is not correct. The teacher will tell you what mistakes you've done. And some of you tonight feel like, oh, I failed, I've made mistakes, and that's okay. Don't get discouraged if you make mistakes, because God is using those mistakes. Rome chapter 8, verse 20, it says, everything works together to bring good. Everything. Imagine if I'm making a cookie, right? A cookie is made of sugar and chocolate and what else? Flour and salt. Imagine if I give you separately. Here is your cookie, Teddy. The chocolate, the flour, the salt, and you eat it separately. Well, how would that taste? Everything has to work together. Your mistakes and your seed has to work together to bring you to a better place. So if you make mistakes, if you have made mistakes in the past, that's okay. It is really hard. I know what it's like sometimes when you make mistakes. For me, if I make mistakes, it's like, oh, I keep thinking about it over and over again. But let this word encourage you tonight that the mistakes God will make. In your relationship, I broke up a few times as well in my relationship. And sometimes we pray like, oh God, send me the Prince Charming, that I can just go out with him and I just get married with him. But that's not always the case. Sometimes I used to say things like, oh, if I go out with a girl and I broke up, then that girl is not from the Lord. Who says that? Every broken relationship is from the Lord, because I learned from my mistakes. Every time I broke up, or every time I failed in anything, in my singing, in my words, anything, I always learn. There is always opportunity to learn. So it's up to you tonight. God will reveal your mistakes during your training, but don't get discouraged, because God will use those mistakes to bring you to a better place. Amen. Number 3. Now, this is the most important thing. When you train, sometimes you are left alone. Sometimes God will leave you alone. See, imagine if I'm Roger Federer, I play tennis, right? And my coach was sitting at the back and looking at me. And every single stroke I make, imagine if he's saying, oh Tommy, you have to do it that way. Oh, you have to do it that way. Imagine if he keeps saying that during my match. Then it's not going to work, is it? Let's say I'm Opal doing the worship leading, and let's say David Lukito is my trainer, and then every single movement I make, oh Opal, that's wrong, oh Opal, that's, imagine if he keeps doing that every 5 minutes, then it's not going to work. Some of you feel that God is not there with you. Some of you feel like, oh God, where are you when I need you the most? Without you are realizing that God is actually right there. He's looking you from afar. He's watching you. What are you going to do when you are alone? Because great people do great things when they are alone. St. Paul was in the jail when he wrote most of the New Testament. Jesus was in the Gethsemane all by himself. Adam was by himself. Elijah, he went to the cave. He was down. After he beat all the 8 prophet, the 800 prophets, he ran into the mountains all by himself. That's when God speaks. When you are alone, that's the opportunity for God to train your instinct. What are you going to do when you're alone? Are you going to just stay there, Peter, not doing anything with your life? Are you just going to sit there not doing anything? Or are you going to do something with your life? Are you going to take any lessons or whatever? There are 3 people. One is given 5 talents, one is given 4 talents, and one is given 1. And then what did the master do? He left them. He left them. Because God wants to know, what are you going to do with the talents I'm giving you? Are you going to train it? Are you going to grow? Are you going to do something with your talents, or are you just going to sit in there being bitter? Oh, I'm not as good as my friend. I'm not as... No, if you want to be a winner in every season, the mentality of a winner is, I'm going to do my best. You know, there are 10 girls, 5 of them, in the Bible Jesus said there are 10, 5 of them are wise girls, 5 of them are dumb girls, right? The dumb ones, stupid girls, the fool ones, they don't bring any extra oil. But the 5 ones who are wise, you know, this is what I mean. God is training your instinct. He left you alone, not to leave you. No, God never leaves us, but He wants you. He wants to see what you are going to do with your life when you are alone. In the training, sometimes you are left alone, but don't get discouraged. Amen. Amen. So each one of us has great a winner, but that seed needs to be trained. And this is my last point. See, it's really quick, right? This is my last point. If you want to be a winner in every season, the number 3, the most important thing that you need to remember is you have to rest. You have to rest. You have to rest. Let's open, ini ayat yang terkenal nih. Let's open Matthew chapter 11, 28 to 30, verse 28 to 30. Matthew chapter 11, Matthews 11, 28 to 30. Are we ready, Mr. Handsome? Alright. Nah, oke. Marilah kepadaku semua yang letih lesu dan berbeban berat. Aku akan memberikan kelegaan kepadamu. Kalau bahasa Inggrisnya, I will give you rest. God rests on the 7th day. Some of us need to take some rest too. Some of us have been worrying too much. I'm worried about I'm still single, I'm almost 30, and that's fine. God holds time in His hands. It's never too late to start anything. What? Why? Mrs. Okay. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Some of us have been worrying too much. Some of us have been gossiping too much. Some of us have been talking too much negativity about anything, about your job, about your boss, about your friends, You need to take some rest. Stop worrying. What's that? Mobil 1 MK. Who's that? Oh, Evans. Okay, anyway, take some rest. Relax. God has everything figured out. Don't you worry about your future, Oh my goodness. Oh, if only I can tell you. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm worried in my heart. But every time that worry comes, I just say, Lord, I surrender. The easiest way for us to rest is to surrender. Surrender is like this. I've got some tennis balls. Can anyone help me? This Mr. Handsome. Yeah, if you can hand this ball. Okay, I want one volunteer to come up. Anybody? If you are handsome, come up. Yeah! Surrender is doing. Alright. Indra, put your hands on the Okay? Alright. So I've got some tennis balls. What these tennis balls represent is problems in our life. As we walk in our daily life, we face difficulties, we face issues, and every single issue is actually building some stress in our life, right? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you break up, or sometimes sometimes someone cuts you off in the traffic, and every single bitterness, every single negativity gives you stress. So this is as negativity. So let's say, my children is giving me headache today. All right? No, hey, hold on. Okay? Let me tell you this principle. And then, my wife is getting on my nerve. Okay? My community is getting on my nerve. Yes. My friends are getting on my nerve. Yes. Okay, can I have more balls, please? Hold them. No. Hold them. All right. And then what else? My car is broken. Keeps getting on my nerve. All right. Is that all? Okay. Now, this is a bigger problem, okay? Oh man, I don't know, whatever, I fall sick. See, eventually he's struggling. Do you know what I mean? Eventually, if we're just trying to hold all the problems in our hand all by our strength and we don't want to surrender to God, eventually we will break. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So can you carry me that big bag, that cable bag, the black one? Now, this is what surrender means. Jesus said, "Come to me, those you are burdened and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." The same amount of stress, the same amount of problems, but I can carry it easily. Now carry it around. It's easy, right? Thank you. All right. My brothers and sisters, some of us need to surrender to God. Some of us have been worrying too much. You cannot win every race. You cannot win your race and win in every season if you just keep filling up yourself with negativities and stress and, do you know what I mean? Let's surrender to God. So tonight, I just want to ask you to just let's just surrender. Whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you are going through right now, let's just surrender to God. The sign of a surrender is this. The sign of a surrender is lifting hands. Can I get the music team to come up? This is the end of the message. The sign of a surrender is lifting hands. You know, some of you are like, oh, I'm not into that charismatic thing, I'm not that Christian thing, you know, lifting hands, sorry, I'm not comfortable doing that. Do you know that lifting hands got nothing to do with you being Christian? Or whether you're being Catholic? Whatever, you're being charismatic? It's got nothing to do. Hold on, the romantic music, okay? Lifting hands. Lifting hands is a sign of surrender. You know, one day I went to a Chelsea football club in Perth, and I remember that night, there was a match, and Drogba, if you were watching football, you know this striker named Drogba.